Academic studies about Wikipedia, Wikipedia Article Audio. Ever since Wikipedia was a few years old, there have been numerous academic studies about Wikipedia in peer-reviewed publications. This research can be grouped into two categories. The first analyzed the production and reliability of the encyclopedia content, while the second investigated social aspects, such as usage and administration. Such studies are greatly facilitated by the fact that Wikipedia's database can be downloaded without help from the site owner. In a landmark peer-reviewed paper, also mentioned in The Guardian, a team of 6 researchers from the University of Minnesota measured the relationship between editors' edit count and the editor's ability to convey their writings to Wikipedia readers, measured in terms of persistent word views, the number of times a word introduced by an edit is viewed. The accounting method is best described using the author's own words: each time an article is viewed, each of its words is also viewed. When a word written by editor X is viewed, he or she is credited with 1 PWV. The number of times an article was viewed was estimated from the web server logs. Content. Production. The researchers analyzed 25 trillion PWVs attributable to registered users in the interval September 1, 2002 October 31, 2006. At the end of this period, the top 10% of editors were credited with 86% of PWVs, the top 1% about 70%, and the top 0.1% were attributed 44% of PWVs, i.e. nearly half of Wikipedia's value as measured in this study. The top 10 editors contributed only 2.6% of PWVs, and only 3 of them were in top 50 by edit count. From the data, the study authors derived the following relationship. Growth of PWV share increases super-exponentially by edit count rank. In other words, elite editors account for more value than they would given a power-law relationship. The study also analyzed the impact of bots on content. By edit count, bots dominate Wikipedia. 9 of the top 10 and 20 of the top 50 are bots. In contrast, in the PWV ranking only 2 bots appear in the top 50, and none in the top 10. Based on the steady growth of the influence on those top 0.1% editors by PWV, the study concluded unequivocally. Frequent editors dominate what people see when they visit Wikipedia and this domination is increasing. A minority of editors produce the majority of persistent content. A peer-reviewed paper noted the social stratification in the Wikipedia society due to the admin's class. The paper suggested that such stratification could be beneficial in some respects but recognized a clear subsequent shift in power among levels of stratification due to the status and power differentials between administrators and other editors. Analyzing the entire edit history of Wikipedia up to July 2006, the same study determined that the influence of administrator edits on contents has steadily diminished since 2003, when administrators performed roughly 50% of total edits, to 2006 when only 10% of the edits were performed by administrators. This happened despite the fact that the average number of edits per administrator had increased more than 5-fold during the same period. This phenomenon was labeled the rise of the crowd by the authors of the paper. An analysis that used as metric the number of words edited instead of the number of edit actions showed a similar pattern. Because the admin class is somewhat arbitrary with respect to the number of edits, the study also considered a breakdown of users in categories based on the number of edits performed. The results for elite users, i.e. users with more than 10,000 edits, were somewhat in line with those obtained for administrators, except that the number of words changed by elite users has kept up with the changes made by novice users, even though the number of edits made by novice users has grown proportionally faster. The elite users were attributed about 30% of the changes for 2006. The study concludes: work distribution and social strata. Thus, though their influence may have waned in recent years, elite users appear to continue to contribute a sizable portion of the work done in Wikipedia. Furthermore, edits made by elite users appear to be substantial in nature. Jean Goodwin has assessed whether trust in Wikipedia is based on epistemic or pragmatic merits. While readers may not assess the actual knowledge and expertise of the authors of a given article, they may assess the contributor's passion for the project, and communicative design through which that passion is made manifest, and provide a reason for trust. Wikipedia articles cover about 500,000 places on Earth. However, research conducted by the Oxford Internet Institute has shown that the geographic distribution of articles is highly uneven. Most articles are written about North America, Europe, and East Asia, with very little coverage of large parts of the developing world, including most of Africa. Reliability. The textual content and the structured hierarchy of Wikipedia has become an important knowledge source for researchers in natural language processing and artificial intelligence. In 2007, researchers at Technion Israel Institute of Technology developed a technique called explicit semantic analysis, which uses the world knowledge contained in Wikipedia articles. Conceptual representations of words and texts are created automatically and used to compute the similarity between words and texts. Geography. Researchers at Ubiquitous Knowledge Processing Lab use the linguistic and world knowledge encoded in Wikipedia and Wiktionary to automatically create linguistic knowledge bases which are similar to expert-built resources like WordNet. Stroop and Ponzetto created an algorithm to identify relationships among words by traversing Wikipedia via its categorization scheme, and concluded that Wikipedia had created a taxonomy able to compete with WordNet on linguistic processing tasks. Natural language processing. Health information on Wikipedia is popularly accessed as results from search engines and search engine result page, which frequently deliver links to Wikipedia articles. Independent assessments of the quality of health information provided on Wikipedia and of who is accessing the information have been undertaken. The number and demographics of people who seek health information on Wikipedia, the scope of health information on Wikipedia, and the quality of the information on Wikipedia have been studied. There are drawbacks to using Wikipedia as a source of health information. A 2007 study by Hitwise, reproduced in Time magazine, found that visitors to Wikipedia are almost equally split 50-50 male/female, but that 60% of edits are made by male editors. Critiques of content fields. WikiWarMonitor, which is part of the European Commission, Cordis FP7 open supported project called ICTA Collective, have published. In 2011 in IEEE Explore Edit Wars in Wikipedia for IEEE Third International Conference on Social Computing. In 2012 in PLOS ONE, it reported that based on circadian activity pattern analysis, the shares of contributions to English Wikipedia, from North America and Europe are almost equal, whereas this increases to 75% of European contributions for the simple English Wikipedia. The research also covers some other demographic analysis on the other editions in different languages. In 2013 in Physical Review Letters Opinions, Conflicts, and Consensus, Modeling Social Dynamics in a Collaborative Environment. In 2014 published as a book The Most Controversial Topics in Wikipedia, a multilingual and geographical analysis, analyzed the volume of editing of articles in various language versions of Wikipedia in order to establish the most controversial topics in different languages and groups of languages. For the English version, the top 3 most controversial articles were George W. Bush, Anarchism, and Muhammad. Topics in other languages causing most controversy were Croatia, Ségolène Royal, Chile, and homosexuality. Health information. A descriptive study that analyzed English-language Wikipedia's policies and guidelines up to September 2007 identified a number of key statistics. Social aspects. Even a short policy like Ignore All Rules was found to have generated a lot of discussion and clarifications. 44 official policies, 248 guidelines. While the Ignore All Rules policy itself is only 16 words long, the page explaining what the policy means contains over 500 words, refers readers to 7 other documents, has generated over 8,000 words of discussion, and has been changed over 100 times in less than a year. The study sampled the expansion of some key policies since their inception. Wikipedia Ignore All Rules, 3,600%, Wikipedia Consensus, 1,557%, Wikipedia Copyrights, 938%, Wikipedia What Wikipedia Is Not, 929%, Wikipedia Deletion Policy, 580%, Wikipedia Civility, 124%. The number for deletion was considered inconclusive, however, because the policy was split in several sub-policies. Demographics. Policies and guidelines. Power plays. Article scope. A 2007 joint peer-reviewed study conducted by researchers from the University of Washington and HP Labs examined how policies are employed and how contributors work towards consensus by quantitatively analyzing a sample of active talk pages. Using a November 2006 database dump, the study focused on 250 talk pages in the tail of the distribution, 0.3% of all talk pages, but containing 28.4% of all talk page revisions, and more significantly, containing 51.1% of all links to policies. From the sampled pages' histories, the study examined only the months with high activity, called critical sections, sets of consecutive months where both article and talk page revisions were significant in number. Controversial, featured, policy-laden. The study defined and calculated a measure of policy prevalence. A critical section was considered policy-laden if its policy factor was at least twice the average. Articles were tagged with 3 indicator variables. All possible levels of these 3 factors yielded 8 sampling categories. The study intended to analyze 9 critical sections from each sampling category, but only 69 critical sections could be selected because only 6 articles were simultaneously featured, controversial, and policy-laden. The study found that policies were by no means consistently applied. Illustrative of its broader findings, the report presented the following 2 extracts from Wikipedia talk pages in obvious contrast. A discussion where participants decided that calculating a mean from data provided by a government agency constituted original research. Is the mean not considered original research? It doesn't look like it to me. It looks like the original research was done by, or am I missing something? If the has not published the actual mean, us calculating it would be, or no? I'm not sure. No, why would it be? Extrapolating data from info already available is not, or from WP nor articles may not contain any new analysis or synthesis of published arguments, concepts, data, ideas, or statements that serves to advance a position. For what worth? Your notion is WP, or I can easily provide a scholarly article that says that anti-authoritarianism is not central to Painism. You are synthesizing all kinds of ideas here, based on your POV. Simple deductive reasoning is not original research. Painism is inherently anti-authoritarian, therefore, an authoritarian economic system cannot be Panist. Which do you disagree with, the premise or the conclusion? Claiming that such ambiguities easily give rise to power plays, the study identified, using the methods of grounded theory, 7 types of power plays. Prior consensus. Due to lack of space, the study detailed only the first 4 types of power plays that were exercised by merely interpreting policy. A 5th power play category was analyzed. It consisted of blatant violations of policy that were forgiven because the contributor was valued for his contributions despite his lack of respect for rules. The study considers that Wikipedia's policies are ambiguous on scoping issues. The following vignette is used to illustrate the claim. Consensus is bullshit because I have the facts on my side. I also have the exhortation of Wikipedia to be bold, deleting a discussion of the Catholic Church's view of paleocentrism is not only inaccurate, but violates WPNPOV, deleting/emasculating it would violate several Wikipedia policies, NPOV, be bold. If you all want an article just on the scientific theory of paleocentrism, write one yourself. We did write an article just on the scientific theory of paleocentrism, before you showed up. You're obviously new here. Arguing based on your reading of NPOV and be bold is a bit ridiculous, like a kid just out of high school arguing points of constitutional law. These things are principles that have an established meaning. People who have been here for years understand them much better than you do. They won't prove effective weapons for you to wield in this argument. The social impact of paleocentrism is not paleocentrism. Wikipedia Wiki is not paper. We don't need to cram every tertiary aspect of the topic into the article proper, and we don't need to consider it incomplete when we don't. The first thing the link Wikipedia Wiki is not paper says is Wikipedia is an encyclopedia. A real encyclopedia like Encyclopedia Britannica has a fantastic section on paleocentrism, including all the social, political, and philosophical implications, as discussed at Wikipedia Wiki is not paper. Wikipedia articles should give a brief overview of the centrally important aspects of a subject. To a biologist like yourself, the centrally aspect of paleocentrism certainly isn't its social implications, but to the rest of society it is. What you're talking about isn't paleocentrism. Central issues to paleocentrism are periodic equilibrium, geomorphous undulation, aeration. These are the issues that actually have to do with the process of paleocentrism itself. These social aspects you're talking about are peripheral, not central. They are about paleocentrism, they surround paleocentrism, but they are not paleocentrism. Power of interpretation. Legitimacy of contributor. Explicit vie for ownership. The study gives the following interpretation for the heated debate. Such struggles over article scope take place even in a hyperlinked environment because the title of an article matters. The paleocentrism article is more prestigious and also more likely to be encountered by a reader than an article entitled The Social Effect of Paleocentrism. The study remarks that in Wikipedia consensus is never final, and what constitutes consensus can change at any time. The study finds that this temporal ambiguity is fertile ground for power plays, and places the generational struggle over consensus in larger picture of the struggle for article ownership. In practice, there are often de facto owners of pages or coalitions of contributors that determine article content. Prior consensus within this group can be presented as incontestable, masking the power plays that may have gone into establishing a consensus. At issue is the legitimacy of prior consensus. Longtime contributors do not want to waste time having arguments about issues that they consider to be solved. Pointing to prior consensus, just like linking to policies, provides a method for dealing with trollish behavior. On the other hand, newcomers or fringe contributors often feel that their perspectives were not represented in prior arguments and want to raise the issue again. The study uses the following discussion snippet to illustrate this continuous struggle. Obtaining administratorship. Most all the stuff describes below has already been hashed out. It's like that game of whack-a-mole. They try one angle, it gets refuted, they try a second angle, it gets refuted, they try a third angle, it gets refuted, and then they try the first angle again. It would be interesting to see how many different users try to contribute to this article and to expand the alternate views only to be bullied away by those who believe in religiously. Why don't you consider that perhaps they have a point and that, and the rest of you drive editors away from this article with your heavy-handed, admin-privileged POV push? A vignette illustrated how administrators overrode consensus and deleted personal accounts of users/patients suffering from an anonymized illness. The administrator's intervention happened as the article was being nominated to become as a featured article. This type of power play is illustrated by a contributor that draws on his past contributions to argue against another contributor who is accusing U24 of being unproductive and disruptive. Oh, you mean I hang around to make a point about the lack of quality on Wikipedia? Please take another look at my edit count. LOL. I have over 7,000 edits. As you know, I can take credit for almost entirely writing from scratch 2 of the 6 or 7 FAs in philosophy. The study finds that there are contributors who consistently and successfully violate policy without sanction. U24 makes several blatant us or them vies for power. If U25's actions persist, he will leave. Such actions clearly violate policies against article ownership, civility toward other contributors, and treatment of newcomers. As a newcomer, U25 may not know of these policies, but U26 certainly does. The willing blindness stems from the fact that U24 is a valued contributor to philosophy articles and is not bashful about pointing this out. There is a scarcity of contributors with the commitment to consistently produce high-quality content. The Wikipedian community is willing to tolerate abuse and policy violations if valued work is being done. With all due respect, that didn't answer the question. I wanted to know what it was in U25's proposal which was unacceptable. His lack of reference etc. is all a fault, sure, but that's why I provided one. This point is already addressed in the article. It may need to be expanded a bit. I can easily do that myself when I have time. Is there anything else? Do you also support U25's view that the article is poor, that is needs to overhauled from top to bottom, the mean analysis nonsense that he actually did try to insert above or the other or that he has stated on this page? Basically, there are two sides on this matter. This article can be taken over by cranks like what's his name, or not. If it does, I go. You can either support me or not. Where do you stand? I do not by any stretch of the imagination support the view that the article is poor. In fact, I disagree with many of the things U25 has said elsewhere on this page. I'm genuinely sorry if this upset you. Researchers from Carnegie Mellon University devised a probit model of editors who have successfully passed the peer review process to become admins. Using only Wikipedia metadata, including the text of edit summaries, their model is 74.8% accurate in predicting successful candidates. The paper observed that despite protestations to the contrary, in many ways election to admin is a promotion, distinguishing an elite core group from the large mass of editors. Consequently, the paper used policy capture, a method that compares nominally important attributes to those that actually lead to promotion in a work environment. The overall success rate for promotion was 53%, dropping from 75% in 2005 to 42% in 2006 and 2007. This sudden increase in failure rate was attributed to a higher standard that recently promoted administrators had to meet, and supported by anecdotal evidence from another recent study quoting some early admins who have expressed doubt that they would pass muster if their election were held recently. In light of these developments, the study argued that machine learning, Wikipedia view statistics and movie revenue. The process once called no big deal by the founder of Wikipedia has become a fairly big deal. Significant factors affecting RFA outcome, numbers in parentheses, are not statistically significant at p.05. Contrary to expectations perhaps, running for administrator multiple times is detrimental to the candidate's chance of success. Each subsequent attempt has a 14.8% lower chance of success than the previous one. Length of participation in the project makes only a small contribution to the chance of a successful RFA. Another significant finding of the paper is that one Wikipedia policy edit or wiki project edit is worth 10 article edits. A related observation is that candidates with experience in multiple areas of the site stood better chance of election. This was measured by the diversity score, a simple count of the number of areas that the editor has participated in. The paper divided Wikipedia in 16 areas: article, article talk, articles/categories/templates for deletion, deletion review, etc. For instance, a user who has edited articles, her own user page, and posted once at deletion review would have a diversity score of 3. Making a single edit in any additional region of Wikipedia correlated with a 2.8% increased likelihood of success in gaining administratorship. Making minor edits also helped, although the study authors consider that this may be so because minor edits correlate with experience. In contrast, each edit to an arbitration or mediation committee page, or a Wikicat notice, all of which are venues for dispute resolution, decreases the likelihood of success by 0.1%. Posting messages to administrator notice boards had a similarly deleterious effect. The study interpreted this as evidence that editors involved in escalating or protracted conflicts lower their chances of becoming administrators. Saying thanks or variations thereof in edit summaries, and pointing out point of view issues were of minor benefit, contributing to 0.3% and 0.1% to candidates' chances in 2006-2007, but did not reach statistical significance before. A few factors that were found to be irrelevant or marginal at best. The study suggests that some of the 25% unexplained variability in outcomes may be due to factors that were not measured, such as quality of edits or participation in off-site coordination, such as the secret mailing list reported in the register. The paper concludes, merely performing a lot of production work is insufficient for promotion in Wikipedia. Candidates' article edits were weak predictors of success. They also have to demonstrate more managerial behavior. Diverse experience and contributions to the development of policies and wiki projects were stronger predictors of RFA success. This is consistent with the findings that Wikipedia is a bureaucracy and that coordination work has increased substantially. Participation in Wikipedia policy and wiki projects was not predictive of adminship prior to 2006, suggesting the community as a whole is beginning to prioritize policymaking and organization experience over simple article-level coordination. Subsequent research by another group probed the sense-making activities of individuals during their contributions to RFA decisions. This work establishes that decisions about RFA candidates is based on a shared interpretation of evidence in the wiki and histories of prior interactions. Automated semantic knowledge extraction using machine learning algorithms is used to extract machine processable information at a relatively low complexity cost. Wikipedia uses structured content extracted from infoboxes by machine learning algorithms to create a resource of linked data in a semantic web. In a study published in PLOS ONE, researchers from Oxford Internet Institute and Central European University have shown that the page view statistics of articles about movies are well correlated with the box office revenue of them. They developed a mathematical model to predict the box office takings by analyzing the page view counts as well as number of edits and unique editors of the Wikipedia pages on movies. In a related work published in Scientific Reports in 2013, Helen Susanna Mote, Tobias Prees, and colleagues demonstrated a link between changes in the number of views of Wikipedia articles relating to financial topics and subsequent large stock market moves. Article scope, prior consensus, power of interpretation, legitimacy of contributor, threat of sanction, practice on other pages, legitimacy of source. Editing user pages does not help. Somewhat surprisingly, user talk page edits also do not affect the likelihood of administratorship. Welcoming newcomers or saying please in edit summaries had no effect. Participating in consensus building, such as RFA votes or the village pump, does not increase the likelihood of becoming admin. The study admits, however, that participation in consensus was measured quantitatively but not qualitatively. Vandal fighting as measured by the number of edits to the vandalism notice board had no effect. Every 1,000 edits containing variations of revert was positively correlated with adminship for 2006-2007, but did not attain statistical significance unless one is willing to lower the threshold to p.1. More confusingly, before 2006 the number of reverts was negatively correlated with adminship success, against without attaining statistical significance even at p.1. This may be because of the introduction of a policy known as 3RR in 2006 to reduce reverts.